If you've ever wanted to decorate around a theme of the Wizard of Oz, maybe you have a child's birthday party, or maybe it's just Halloween, then follow along in this tutorial. I'm going to show you how to make the Tin Man. There's also a tutorial on how to make the Scarecrow, the Lion, and the Witch. Let's get started. For our Tin Man head, I spray painted this foam pumpkin in silver. It's the same silver that I used on the body. For the mouth, I stuck a couple nails in here. They've also been spray painted. One of the good things about using these foam pumpkins is that they almost act like a pin cushion. You can just stick things right inside of it. So there's our little mouth. Now I did raid my husband's hardware closet, all his little saved things, and I found these giant washers. I think they're for putting insulation board up, but I thought they would make perfect eyes. I grabbed a couple roofing nails, and I think they are just going to fit right into the washer, and then we can just stick them right in there. Now I did test this before, so I'm pretty sure about the placement, so there's already holes there, but there's our eyes. And then for our nose, I found this old brass hose nozzle, and I'm just going to stick a nail in there right now, and then that's going to slide right over the top, just like that. I will probably caulk this in a little bit later, but for right now, that's the start of our face. For our hat, I couldn't find a really nice funnel, so I did end up going to Tractor Supply, and I walked in and I saw this and I thought, oh my gosh, that's perfect. And that's going to go on with a little bit of an angle. Now, to secure the head on here, it's going to be a little bit tricky. Don't ask me why I have this giant knitting needle. I have no idea. But I'm going to, I think, drill a hole right about here on an angle, and we're going to be able to stick the knitting needle down through there, and that should help hold it. Cross our fingers that works. I will probably end up caulking around that to help keep it there, but that works pretty good. To help hold the head onto the body of our Tin Man, I've run a piece of rebar up through the center. Now, our pumpkin is hollow, and if I let this stay hollow, it's going to wobble around. My plan is to use some spray foam and fill that in, and hopefully that will help secure that knitting needle also, so that that won't jiggle around. And then being foam, I should be able to slide it right down on top of the rebar piece. And I'm only going to use a little bit of foam at a time, because this expands and I want to be able to control it a little bit. So we're just going to put a little bit at a time and do some layering. Woo, that's potent. I don't know if you guys can see inside what the foam looks like. We just need to let it stabilize or dry and harden, and then we can fill it up some more. just going to leave it like that and let it dry. To assemble our Tin Man, we're starting out with a bale of hay. Then we have 2 tomato stakes. We have some of this perforated pipe that I have spray painted silver. That goes right over the top here. And these become the legs to our Tin Man. The body of our Tin Man is this, I think this is a 15-gallon drum, and I spray painted it silver. We also drilled a hole down the center here. On the bottom, we drilled another hole in the center, and then we have 2 cutouts for the legs. On the sides, we cut these rectangles, and these are going to hold the arms. That slides right over just like that. To add some extra stability, we've got some rebar. Now this, just like the tomato stakes, is going to go all the way down through to the bottom of the hay bale. And this is going to thread through that hole that we drilled in the top, in the center here, and the bottom there. And this extra piece sticking up is going to help hold the head. Now for the arms, we have these plastic drainage pipes, and we cut the rectangle on the sides here a little bit bigger than this, so this should be able to slide right in. And then my plan is to turn it to help kind of lock it in place. And what works with these drainage is that they're posable. And once we have this officially in the position that we want it, we'll probably go in and run some screws in here to lock this in place. All right, let's see if we can get his head on. I think he's looking pretty cute. I still have to paint a heart on him and do some other things and put some hands on, but he's getting there. I think our Tin Man needs some buttons, and I'm going to use the lids to water jugs, or you could use milk jugs. I have spray painted them gray, and I'm going to go in and just add a little hole to the center that will make it easier to put a screw in and into the body of our Tin Man. I'm going to drill a little pilot hole at the point on each of these markers that designate 3 gallons, 6 gallons, 9 gallons, 12 gallons. And there's also a little seam line right here, so I know exactly where I need to drill a hole. I'm going to get in the way of the camera here. But this is just a little pilot. Oops. This is just a little pilot hole that will make it easier to put the screw and the button in. And now that we have our pilot hole, I've got our button. I put a little screw through there. We can line that right up, and then we can just simply start screwing the buttons on. Now I did do these buttons a darker gray. I did it the same gray color that I did the eyes and the mouth, the chain mouth. So if we don't like it, we can just touch it up with the other gray that we painted the body. But I think that's going to add a nice little bit of dimension. So I just need to do the other 3 buttons. I think we're getting down to the home stretch. We just have to put gloves in. And remember, your thumbs are on the inside. And I think what we'll do is we'll put a screw in there to help snag those gloves so they don't fall off. I think we're down to the last thing. We've got to paint our heart. I think we need to make it a little bit more heart-shaped. There we go. I hope I've given you some ideas on how you can make your own Tin Man if you want to do a Halloween Wizard of Oz theme in your yard. Thanks so much for watching, and if you want to see how we did the witch, the lion, and the scarecrow, please watch my other videos. Thanks a lot, have a great day, and have some fun this Halloween and do some fun decorating around your house. Take care, bye-bye.